Hello, hello, hello. I hope you're doing absolutely amazing. In today's video, I'm going to share a powerful shift that you can make if you are wanting to access more success without doing more. You can't possibly do anymore. If you're like most people, you're just like, I am done. I cannot do anymore. And here's the thing, energy is underlying everything we do. It's an ever constant, ever existing thing that operates. And once you understand energetic principles, it's actually what unlocks more ease. Manifestation and creation is always about doing, but it is be, do, have. We got to see who we are being first and foremost before we even do the doing, right? That is energy. That's your identity, but it's also energy. So, how do you actually access more success? And this could be in anywhere in your life, okay? Anywhere in your life. Because one of the basic principles of energy is that like you are energy, right? Everything is energy. You are not a separate energetic imprint in your personal life, in your professional life. Like we've been led to believe that there's all these different like segments of life. And yes, there are, but you're the same person through it all. So when I say every area of your life, it truly is because when you make this shift, it will affect every single area of your life in a positive way. So I want you to think for a moment. How many times and how often do you avoid standing out? How often do you avoid standing out? And you might even not be conscious that you do this. We've been conditioned in this world to not stand out. Another way of saying that is fit in, but they don't quite mean the exact same thing. And that's why I'm specifically using those words. How often do you avoid standing out? And there's lots of reasons why many of us avoid standing out, right? We don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to be judged. We don't want to look silly. There are tons of reasons that we are constantly given every single day why not to stand out. We often can feel like a target, right? Like I said, whether it's to be teased, judged, whatever it is. And here's the thing, all of us do it. And all of us have been doing it. And for a lot of the time, we're not even aware we're doing this. I want to shine a big old light on all of this so you can see it really, really clearly. We've been conditioned to do this, so we don't ever want to feel bad about it, but we need to also really see this clearly because the way success works is you have to stand out. If you think of how many times maybe you've been trying to apply for a job, how do I stand out? Or you're on a dating site, how do I stand out? Or you're, I don't know, doing something, trying to get into a restaurant and it's full. How do I stand out? So I'm seen, so maybe I'm picked, so I can get my table sooner. There are a lot of different times when we all of a sudden then we want to stand out because we want to be seen and we want to be picked. We want the opportunities. Because to get chosen for opportunities, to get chosen for things, you need to stand out. And what do we do in this world? Well, if you think of it, if you're looking for a job, well, how can I fix my resume so I stand out? Isn't that what we do? So we go to strategy. What do I need to write, say, in a dating profile so I stand out? What do I need to say so I stand out in a meeting? We are so constantly looking for these strategies that we can use in our day-to-day life to stand out to something that we want. But here's the energetic law, okay? If you go about your life trying to not stand out, to avoid discomfort, to avoid embarrassment, to avoid all those things that we don't want, energy doesn't go, oh, this person just doesn't want to stand out for those unfortunate things. The way energy works is if you decide you don't want to stand out, you don't stand out, period. Which means that you also don't stand out for the great opportunities. It means you don't stand out for the things that you want. We don't get to decide what we stand out for and what we don't. It goes against the laws of the universe. It goes against energetic and quantum principles. And we've been taught to not stand out. Goodness knows you wouldn't want to stand out. I mean, I know I did this for years. So of course you can't tell this in video, but I'm actually 5'10". So pretty tall for a woman. My whole life I've been like, oh my God, why do I have to stand out so much? Until so many years ago, I realized, Andrea, why are you trying to not stand out? For years I didn't wear heels because that would make me stand out even more. So what I'm saying is these things are really, really subtle. How many times do we all do this? Because if you decide to not stand out, you just won't stand out anywhere. Because really what you're doing then is you're saying, I just want to blend in with everybody else. Think about that for a moment. Isn't that crazy how we decide we want to blend in? We're not conscious of it sometimes either, right? But most people aren't going for amazing things. Most people aren't pushing themselves. Most people aren't wanting to achieve great success and feel fulfilled and have rich and rewarding relationships and have abundance. Most people are in their comfortable staying in their comfort zone. But if you want success, you have to be willing to stand out all the time, everywhere and anywhere. Because then, of course, you're going to stand out for the opportunities. So if right now you're recognizing yourself, I'm going to give some examples here of how you can start to shift this. If all of a sudden you're just going, okay, I see your point. I'm thinking there might be something here. So I do things all the time. I stretch myself in the littlest little things because it's always the micro adjustments that we do in life. We love to think that there's some grandiose thing we can do. It's really how you choose to show up every day. So to give you an example, it's something I did yesterday. Is I was out and it's Easter weekend, and it's beautiful weather here. And I was out by myself yesterday. And so what I did was I went to a restaurant by myself, got a table by myself, sat there, ate my meal by myself, didn't go on my phone, didn't try to do something to sort of blend in or to avoid looking around. Like I'm standing out. I'm the only person in the restaurant sitting by myself. Everyone had tables full of people. And it wasn't always comfortable, but I do these things constantly, because I have to be okay. My nervous system has to be okay with standing out. A lot of times you will discover where you don't want to stand out when you are alone. It's easy to stand out when you're with somebody. Ever been out with somebody, with a friend or something in public, or your partner, and something happens, goofy happens, and it's not bad when you're with somebody. You can laugh it off or whatever. But when something embarrassing happens and you're alone, that's not always fun. It takes power to be able to maintain your center and to hold yourself when you are alone and you are walking into situations by yourself. Because the risk of embarrassment is always bigger when you're by yourself. It just is. So those are just a couple of things that I mentioned. Like I said, also could be in a meeting. Where do you not want to stand out? Saying something. It doesn't have to be something big. But how often are we in conversations and nobody is saying the one thing that everybody is thinking? Because goodness knows, we don't want to stand out. We don't want to rock the boat. We tell ourselves all these stories. But then we wonder why success isn't coming. Why aren't getting the opportunities? It's because we're not willing. We are not willing to stand out. And therefore, the energy that we send out, the signal that we send out constantly is don't see me. Don't see me. We make ourselves invisible without even realizing that's what we're doing. And then we make ourselves invisible to all the opportunities that have your name written all over them. So if you can spend a little time, think of where you might do that, where you might shrink yourself. Maybe it's how you change what you're wearing. That's a big one. So I'm somebody who tends to dress up. Okay. I'm not somebody who's super, super casual. I tend to do myself up, my hair, my makeup, my everything, my clothes. Like I just like it. It's fun for me. And I just value the effort I put into my appearance. It's just important to me. And there have been times where I go somewhere and I am the most dressed up person. And I know I stand out, but I just own it. Like I just own it. I'm like, you know what? This is my standard for myself. This is what I want for me. And if nobody else is dressing like that, who cares? Who cares? And for women, a lot of the conditioning to fit in and to not stand out is really deep. If you just think about even for women, like thin is in. What is that about? Not standing out, being as small as you can. I mean, think about that. Even just crossing your legs. Have you ever thought about why women are like that's ladylike to cross your legs? You go smaller so you don't stand out. Men don't sit like that. No, they sprawl all out, right? That's what they're conditioned to do. Right or wrong, it's what they're conditioned to do. This can happen anywhere and everywhere. And one actually instance came up. I noticed this when you start to notice this if you go in public now. So this was a couple months ago. I was at Costco and I was going to get in line to pay. And every single line had about 3 or 4 buggies deep. Okay. So decent lengths lineup, right? And I saw somebody standing at a till and there was nobody there at all. No food or anything on the conveyor belt thingy, not a soul. And I thought to myself, well, I wonder if they're open. Like nobody's going over there. I'm looking around, not a soul is going over there, right? But I'm like, God, I wonder if they're open, right? So I'm like, I'm just gonna go ask. So I go up to the till. I'm like, are you open? They're like, yeah. And I'm just like, okay. So starting to unload my groceries, and I'm like, I don't know why the rest of you haven't asked. You didn't notice, or were you worried how it would look if you went up there and asked and the person said no? Like sometimes we're so scared of being rejected. Like it's insane sometimes, or looking silly. Who cares? Who cares? And as soon as I went up there and I started unpacking my groceries, well, of course, a whole bunch of people from the line saw and they all came in. And these are adults. These are adults. Where in your life are you doing that? Worried about getting rejected, worrying about how you're going to be seen. Who cares? There's what, 8 billion people, between 7 and 8 billion people on this planet. Who cares if you think you're silly or ridiculous or an idiot? Like, who really cares? Like, you really have to stop and think sometimes, who are you trying to impress? Be open. Be willing to be seen. Be willing to stand out. And you know what? Sometimes you might look a little silly, but that to me is a really small price to pay. Like it is. That lasts some second. So I'm embarrassed or humiliated in people I don't know and I will never see again. Whoopie ding dong. Like really. Be willing to be seen. Be willing to be seen and be willing to stand out, because you will start to find that the actions that you take then, the energy is behind them and you will start to be seen and success will become easier. But you must keep consistent with this. Okay. It's not a one and done, especially if you've been doing this for years. So I hope this was super helpful. I also wanted to mention it's Easter Sunday today, I think the April 5th. I woke up this morning and it was gorgeous in Vancouver. It's felt like the dead of winter until yesterday. And today I woke up again. I was so excited. It was sunny and warm. So I decided to put a discount until midnight tonight on my digital courses. I'll put all the details down below there, as well as $100 off a 60-minute session with me. Everything is going to be down there, as well as the promo code. It is just till midnight tonight. So that's April the 5th, 2026. So, and there is a masterclass that I have done. It's called The Energetics of Success. So this is a bit in alignment with what I talked about today, energy, but energy is so important. Remember, like it's be, do, have. Who you are being is more important than what you do. We have to start to nail the energetics, because if you're like most people, you're doing all you can do, right? We've got to lock that first piece in place first. All right, beautiful soul. Again, I'm going to put all the details down below here. I hope you're having a fabulous weekend and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.